Hello, can you hear me?
Hi,
Yes.
hi, teacher.
Hi, good morning. Let's begin with our lesson. Comencemos con esta lección. Okay. I have a presentation. I have a PPTS. Today we were going to talk about the passive voice. Okay. Yes. Let's share the screen. I'll share the screen just placed. It's ready. Okay, well, the passive voice. This is our topic for today. So, of course, in English, we have the active and the passive, okay? We normally use the active voice every day. So, in the active voice, the subject of a sentence is the person or thing we talk about. When the subject does something, we use active voice. For example, people sell good luck flowers. People is the person, okay, that we talk about, okay, people. And in this sentence, people do something. What do they do? They sell good luck flowers. So this is the active voice. We always, well, we always yeah, speak using the active voice, okay, because remember that you focus on the subject or doer. In this case we have the subject people or the doer. We have the active verbs, okay. Of course it can be in a different structures, like in the past, in the future. And then we have the object, the receiver, okay. And our topic, this is the passive voice, of course. It is used when the subject is not the doer of an action. We put the receiver of an action as the subject, and we put the order of an action as the object. In this case, good luck flowers are sold by people. Well, now let's introduce the topics. Now you know that we are talking about the passive. So let's review. In English, we have sentences, right? In English, we have sentences. These sentences, of course, can be an active and, do you remember the other one? An active voice and
Active and passive
passive
voice.
and passive voice. What is the difference? Okay, 1 second. Your classmate is trying to enter. Where is she? Well, she is here. Okay. Active and the passive. For example, when you use the active voice, you focus you focus
Subject.
on the subject. Okay. And the passive voice, we focus
Action.
on the object. Okay.
Object.
But now the name are different. Okay, so we focus on the subject, we focus on the object. In this case, for example, Carlos makes a cake. Look at this. Carlos makes a cake. Who or what is the doer? Who performs the action? In this case, Carlos performs the actions, right? Because it focuses on Carlos. Okay, so Carlos make a cake. But in this case, we change the order and a cake is made by Carlos. We focus on the cake because now the cake is the most important part here. So this is our new subject. Here a cake is the object, but here is a subject. Here is what we call the subject, but now we call the agent. Okay? We call the agent. Okay, so I want you to understand the difference between the active and the passive voice. Okay, remember the active voice focuses on the subject because they think that the subject is the most important part, but in the passive, we focus on the object because now our object is the most important part in our sentence. So that's the reason that we change the order. Don't worry about the structure because I will explain just in a few seconds. Do you have any questions? I want you to understand the difference. Active, passive. Focus on subject, focus on object. Any questions?
Eh, me están dando una pregunta más para que me quede claro. Es que cuando se habla directamente primero de la persona, es el active voice, ¿cierto?
Yes, because we focus on the subject. In this case, Carlos makes a cake. Who performs the action? Carlos. Okay, and then we have the passive. In this case, we change the order because we don't focus on the subject. We focus on the object because the object is our new subject. Okay, of course, you can have a passive if you have an active voice. Okay. Then I will teach you when we use the passive. Okay? Yes, you get that one? You get it? Okay.
Yes, teacher.
But now let's practice with the structure because maybe this is the first time. Structure, okay? The structure is super simple. In English, we were discussing about like present, past simple, present perfect, past perfect, future continuous, like a lot of sentences that we have been learning during this like process. And well, the first structure, of course, is the present simple. Okay, in the present simple, let's analyze. And the present simple, I can say like something like Juan writes a letter. Look at this sentence. This sentence is an active voice sentence, or this is a passive. This is active, right? Active,
Active.
of course. This is active. Okay, so now we're gonna make 1 second. One of your classmates is trying to enter to the class, and we gotta wait just for Sarah. Yes. Okay. So Juan writes a letter. Of course, you have to use the rules, okay, because you're making this sentence. So Juan writes a letter. So what you have to do here is to change the order because remember that the passive voice focuses on the passive voice focuses on the object. So what you have to do is this. You move this here and then you move this here. Amazing. So you change a letter, and then you have to add this word by. Okay, it's optional, yes, but you can do it by Juan. Okay, so now what you have to do is to like realize or maybe trying to find out the sentence. Of course, you know that this is the present simple because I told you, right? Or maybe you knew that. So now you have to add the verb be. The verb be, look at this. The verb be and the time tense. So my question is a letter. Which verb do we use with a letter? Do you remember?
Is.
Pretty good, is. So we say a letter. You have here is, you have here was, because you don't know which one, right? You don't know, or maybe being. Okay, we don't know, but now focus on this part. The tense. This is the present.
Present simple.
This is the present simple. So which one do we use? Is, was, or been? Is. Amazing. We use is. A letter is. Now what you have to do is to write the main verb, but in the participle form. So we have write, wrote, written. So
written.
You have to write written. A letter is written by Juan. So this is what we call the passive voice. Okay? Did you understand? This is what we call the passive. Any questions up to this point? Because this is just the present simple. You got it?
Yes.
Amazing. So now let's practice a little bit. Just give me a second, please. And further information. Further means like más información. Now let's review the passive number one. Okay, it would be great that you can practice. Okay, let's begin. Somebody sends email. So you say, can you tell me?
Emails
Emails
are
are what?
sent
Are sent. Remember that you have to use the participle for by someone, right? Or somebody. Yes?
by somebody.
Yes, by somebody. Somebody cut the grass. You say
The grass is
is
cut, cut
cut by
by
somebody.
somebody.
Okay. So imagine this sentence because I want you to practice like for example, the police for example in Canada people say the mountains, okay, the mountains, which means the police, okay, the mountains uh, catches catches the thief, the thief, okay, the mountains catch the thief. Dice de que los policías atrapan a los ladrones o a el ladrón, vamos a poner ladrones, atrapan a los ladrones. ¿Cómo sería eso? Vamos a poner aquí.
Teacher, mountains are police?
Yes,
Ah,
but
okay.
in Canada,
Ah, okay.
the police officers, sí, but in Canada, because I was teaching Canadian English, so I remember the police officers, the mountains. The police officers catch the thieves, so we call this the thieves
The tips
are
Are
1 second
are caught
are caught. No.
are caught by the police officers.
Yes, are caught by the police officers. So my question, do you consider that this is obvious, right? Because who catches the thieves? The police officer or not? Yes?
good.
So you
Uh-huh.
can omit this information. Why? Because the information is obvious. Okay? When the information is obvious, you can omit. Okay? If you want, you can write it, but if you don't do it. It's not necessary because it's obvious. Okay? Did you understand?
Uh-huh.
Well, in this case, we don't know who performed the action because we say somebody, right? Yes. When you don't know who performs the action, when you don't know who performs the action, you use a passive voice. Okay, so instead of saying, hey, somebody paints the house. Alguien pinta la casa. You say, well, the house is painted. That's it. It's not necessary to write by somebody because you don't know, or you don't write this when the agent is obvious. Did you understand? Yep.
Teacher,
Tell me.
when it's by somebody, it's not necessary or yes?
No, it's not necessary because you don't know. When I say
Ah,
somebody,
okay.
do you know who performed the action? For
No.
example, somebody killed Pepito. Who killed Pepito? Do you know? You say
No.
somebody. So when you don't know, or when the agent is obvious, of course, you never, well, if you want, of course, because it's optional, but it's not necessary. Okay?
Ah,
So
okay.
in this case, we
Okay.
have, in all these sentences, we have somebody, somebody, somebody. So it's not necessary to write it. So somebody prefers chocolate, you say?
Chocolate is preferred.
Yes, chocolate.
Is preferred. Only that.
Yes, only because it's
uh,
obvious. You can, if you want, of course, just if you want, you can say someone, just if you want, but it's not mandatory. Okay. So somebody often steals cars. Somebody often steals
uh,
cars.
is not cars. Cars
Cars.
are stolen. No, car
Car.
often.
Car
Car
are
often.
often
Cars are
stolen.
often stolen.
Cars are often stolen. Okay. Then we have somebody plays loud music.
Mm, loud music
Loud
is played.
music is played. If you want, you say by somebody. Somebody speaks English here.
Uh, English
English?
is 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 here.
Nope, but you say is
Is
here.
spoken here.
Yeah, it's
Is spoken.
spoken. Is
Is spoken
spoken
here.
here. Somebody loves the London parks.
The London parks is loved.
Nope.
Are are
Are
are
loved.
because they are plural. Are loved.
Yes, because they are plural or they are in the plural form. It's necessary that we use are. Somebody wants a staff.
Staff
Mhm.
is
A
wanted.
staff is wanted, of course. A staff is wanted. But Carlos, but a staff is not a group of people. Yes, but the plural form of a staff is staff. It's like my question is: you say, uh, my family is or my family are? What is the
My
answer?
family is.
My family is because you say my family. This is the plural form of my family. It doesn't matter that a noun means a lot of people. If you think or if you know that this noun has a plural form, so you have to use is and then are. It's like similar to team because team has the word teams, which is the plural form. So team is and team are. Or a group. You say that group means a lot of people, or more than one because it's a group. So you say group is, but then you say groups are. Did you understand? I hope so.
Yes.
Somebody writes articles. Did you realize that I'm just speaking in English and you understand everything that I'm saying? Somebody writes articles.
Articles are written
Yes,
and,
articles.
and by somebody is optional.
Yeah, it's optional, of course. Remember that when we have RT and a vowel sound, you drop the T sound. You drop the T sound. So we say article,
Article.
articles.
Article.
And when you have double T or whatever letter that you have here, you omit the first one. So you say written, yeah. But then this T is between two vowel sounds. So you pronounce the T like R in Spanish. So we say written, written, written. And remember, of course, this is a common misconception. A common misconception is a wrong idea because people say writing, they pronounce W. In English, we never pronounce W in this word. We say re. I don't say re. No, re incorrect. We say re. Ra, re, ro, ru. Reading. Reading. So articles are reading. And last but not least, we have somebody love Julie.
Julie is
Julie
loved.
is loved. Amazing. So we're done with the first activity. Let's continue here. Okay, well, as I said before, this is the present. This is the present simple. So what about, remember, you have to use a time tense with the verb be. So this is the present simple. So what if I change this one? This is not the present simple. What about the past simple? Instead of saying writes, what is the passive form? The past form?
Growth. Growth.
Wrote. Amazing. Wrote. So Juan wrote a letter. So a letter, you say is?
Was.
Yes, a letter was. Okay, so a letter was written by Juan. Did you understand the past simple passive voice? Yeah. So let's practice super quickly. Remember that practice makes perfect, so let's do this together. Apart from that, you are practicing your pronunciation, which is the most important part. Somebody found the key. What is the answer?
key
The
The
key
key.
was
The key was.
found.
The key was found.
found.
The key
The
was
key
found.
was found.
Yes. Somebody make mistakes.
Mistakes
Mistakes.
were
Mistakes were, of course, because they are in plural form. Mistakes were
making.
made. Why do you say making?
Okay.
Remember that you have to use the past participle. Mistakes were made.
Participle.
Yes. Any questions up to this point? Is everything crystal clear? Yeah? Okay. Well, let me tell you that there is a difference between error and mistakes. Okay. For example, when you forgive, what is forgive? When you forgive your husband, perdón.
Perdonar.
When you forgive your husband, okay, because he cheated on you, what is cheated on you?
No.
Yes, when you forgive your husband for the first time, and this is a mistake. Okay, but when you forgive your husband for, I don't know, like 5 times in a year, sorry, this is an error. You are making mistakes. Did you understand? When you make a mistake, literally for the first time, it's an error. But when you make again and again and over again, you are making mistakes. Did you understand the difference? Of course.
Yes.
Imagine
Yes,
that I say,
yes.
okay, you is, oh, this is an error because this is the first time that you make this error. But if you say you is, no, you are making mistakes because this is not the first time. That this is important to know that. Somebody loved that woman.
That woman
That woman
was loved.
was loved. Number 4, somebody cleaned the rooms.
The rooms were clean.
Yes, were cleaned. The rooms were cleaned. Somebody fixed the computer.
The computer
The computer
was
was fixed. Somebody built that house.
that house
Was built. Somebody wrote War and Peace.
War and Peace.
War and
was
written. Written. Carlos, why do you say was? Because we have here too. Because this is the name of the book. Okay? So this is one. War and Peace is a book, so the book was written. So, for example, have you ever seen a movie when, and at the end of the movie it says written by something like that? Somebody painted the Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa was painted.
Was painted, of course. Somebody stole my wallet.
My wallet was stolen.
My wallet was stolen. Somebody prepared lunch.
Lunch was prepared.
Was prepared, and this is super simple. Okay, so now let's come back. In this case, we have the past simple, and we were discussing about the present simple, right? Nice. But now we're gonna talk about the progressive. I'm not talking about present progressive. Well, you can do it if you want. So we can drop this part. Do you remember the present simple? Yeah. So now learn is not present simple, you learn present. And then we have the past simple because I told you that this is the past simple, right? Juan wrote the letter, a letter was written by Juan. So you learn like the past. But now we're going to learn the progressive. The progressive is pretty similar because in how do we say this? Juan is Juan is
Written.
writing,
Writing.
writing. Juan is writing a letter. This is the active. So now the structure is different because this is not like a normal sentence. This is the progressive sentence. So when you have a progressive, you need to add an extra word. And the extra word it goes before the main verb. Because you say a letter was written, or in this case, because this is the present, you say a letter is. So what you have to do is to add this word, being, just with that progressive. Okay? So you say Juan is writing a letter that is written by Juan. Did you understand? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's practice together. Tell me, Jonathan.
No, I guess I understand, teacher.
Okay, you got it, of course. So now, look, you make the sentence. Let me check if I have some of them here in the platform. I don't remember. Now I have present perfect. I forgot to write the. Okay, but I have the presentation. Okay, for example, look at this. Carlos is making a cake. So the passive. What is the passive version?
A cake
A cake
was being.
was. Why was? Because this sentence is in the present.
Ah, no, yes.
It's
Yes,
It's being
is being
uh, made
is being made by
by
who?
Carl.
Yes, Carlos is making a cake, so a cake is being made by Carlos. What about the passive? So Carlos was and cooking paella. So you say paella
Paella
was
was being
was being
cooked,
cooked. Did you
cooked
understand? Or do you
by
need
Carl.
by Carlos, of course, by Carlos. Did you understand this part? Do you need more examples? Remember that when you have the present, you use the present. When you have the past, you use the past. Okay? And then, of course, because this is progressive, you need to include the verb, this verb one, ing. Was being cooked, was being made. Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, so now let's come back here to our presentation because now you have a good knowledge. So, well, I was saying that, of course, this is the active voice when we focus on the subject, and then we have the passive when we focus on the object, okay? Because we consider that this is the most important part. Okay, the form of the passive voice, it is for plus be, and the past participle, of course. So the collect is are collected, perform is are performed. You know this, and of course you know the passive in the ing version. Okay, now you people eat mooncakes at Mid Autumn Festival. How do we say this in the passive version?
Mooncakes.
Mooncakes
Mooncakes are
are.
are eaten
Yes, mooncakes are eaten. Of course, as you can say, of course, by the people or by people. But we know that because this is obvious, so we say mooncakes are eaten. So people sweep grapes with brooms at Chiang Mai Festival. Grapes,
uh, grapes.
grapes,
Grapes. Grapes.
is
I don't know sweep. What does sweep mean, teacher?
sweep. This is sweep. When you use a brush broom, sweep. and this is mop.
Uh,
Mop and sweep.
okay. And that form is in the present simple.
This is the present simple. You say grapes.
Okay, grapes are.
Grapes
Um,
are swept.
I don't know. That's
Swept.
okay.
Sweep,
Past
swept, swept.
participle. I don't know.
Yeah, sweep, swept, swept with brooms by people, of course. This is a present. Then we have people like lanterns at mid-autumn festivals. So lanterns are lit by people. This is obvious. Lit, lit, lit. Light, lit, lit. Light, lit, lit. Okay, so now let's do this. People sweep grapes. Grapes is swept, sweep, swept, are swept. Which one?
Are swept.
Are swept, of course. People buy some flowers, some flowers.
uh, is bond.
Is
Are both.
are
Are,
because we have some, of course, because we
flowers,
have,
flowers,
yes.
sorry.
No, don't worry, don't worry. You can make mistakes. Miss Lee paints a picture. A picture
The
Picture
picture
is
is painted.
is
painted.
painted by Miss Lee. The brother make a cake. A cake
Is made.
is
Is
made. John buys some new clothes. Some new clothes
Are both.
are bought. Okay, well, we can skip some examples. Okay, well, here the family cleaned the house. The house
The house is cleaning by the family.
is clean. Is not cleaning. Is cleaned by the family. Okay, is
Clean.
cleaned by the family. Okay, so we're gonna skip some examples because I consider that you know, but I'll share the presentation. Okay, so now we were discussing about the passive, but with the present simple, with the past simple, with the present progressive, and with the past progressive. So you know that we have more than 5 or 6 time tenses. So now we continue at the end of the class. And the presentation is here. Okay, can you see the screen? Annette? Yes? And now I'm recording.
Not yet.
Yes. Crime and punishment. Well, let's begin with this part. Please, Jonathan, please read this paragraph.
Okay, teacher. On the night of January 12th, Star Video on Main Street was burglaries. The police report the following: the glass door was broken and the alarm was disconnected. The suspect, who was watching a video, was found in a back room. Police were led to the suspect by a tray of popcorn and gummy bears. He was taken to the police station for questions.
Okay, for that to the police station for questioning. For questioning. Okay, any questions about some words here? Any questions?
Teacher, what does let mean?
Okay. Let means for example, eating. Listen to me. Eating candies. When you eat candies a lot, so eating candies led to my illness. Led to my illness. Okay. Led to my illness. Or you can say smoking cigarettes. Okay, smoking cigarettes are leading to cancer. Okay,
Okay.
so it means
Yes.
like conlleva a. Okay, conlleva a, led to. Siempre trabaja led to. They are always work together. Okay, well, in this case, let's analyze on the night of January. Enero, decimos Jenny, así como Jenny, Jenny, January, okay? January. This is the correct pronunciation. So on the night of January 12th, start video on Main Street. Okay, burglar. Burglar means robar. Burglar, the verb, like this. Burglar, burglar. But when you say burglarize, means roba. Robado, this is the passive, okay? The police reported the following. The glass door was broken and the alarm was disconnected. The suspect who was watching a video was found in a back room. Police were led to the suspect by a trail of popcorn and a gummy bears. He was taken to the police station for questioning. So as you can see here, we have the passive voice. So look at this part. Do we have the by structure? So Carlos writes a letter. A letter was written by Carlos. Okay. Carlos made a cake. A cake was made by
Made
Carlos. We don't have by. Do you know the reason?
because it's obviously.
Because we don't know who performed the action. When I say the
Ah,
glass
okay.
the glass door was broken, who broke the glass door? We don't know. So we can omit. You can say the glass door was broken and the alarm was disconnected by someone. By someone. But we don't know who performed the action. Do we?
Okay, teacher.
Yes.
So well, when it's obviously,
When it's obvious,
and
when it's obvious, when it's obvious,
when it's obvious, and
when we don't,
I don't know.
when I don't know, we omit the by
We-
structure. We just,
Ah,
if you
okay.
want, it's optional. You can say by someone, okay? Now let's continue. Legal system in the U.S. So this is gonna be for Zara. Zara, please read this one.
Okay. If a crime is committed, a suspect is usually arrested and taken to jail. A lawyer is called and the suspect is interviewed. If a trial is necessary, juror, jurors are selected. If the defendant is found guilty, he is sentenced by the judge to serve time in prison.
Okay, that was cool. Let's check some words. We say lawyer, a lawyer, which means abogado, lawyer. Interview means entrevistar, interviewed. And then we have nt in a vowel, so we say interviewed. Okay, I have a question. Are there any words that you don't know here? Are there any words that you don't know here? You know all the words, right? Nope.
Uh, what does defendant?
Defendant. For example, if you kill someone, you are the defendant. If you kill someone, acu,
El acusado.
yes, defendant.
Ah, okay. I
Yes.
got it.
Trial or trial, no sé.
Trial, juicio, juicio,
Juicio.
a trial. También trial significa prueba gratis. A trial. Okay. It depends on the context. Depende mucho del contexto. Como les dije una vez, tenemos que el plural de person, ¿cuál es el plural de person?
People.
People. Y aquí es donde sus sueños se hacen realidad, porque también existe la palabra persons.
What?
Yes. Quien te diga que no existe es que no sabe. Persons es un término que se usa en la corte. ¿Ok? Para hablar es un tema, un término jurídico más que todo. Persons. Well, I don't know, in the accident, there were 3 persons. Okay? Like that. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Let's continue. So in this case, we also have the passive voice. So now you know the structures, right? The subject was burglarized, were not stolen, is being reviewed. Do you remember that we learned this? The present progressive or past progressive passive voice? Yes? You need
Yes.
to add being. So now, active sentence focuses on the agent, the person or thing doing the action, and the passive sentence focuses on the object. You know this because I explained this a lot. The police arrested the criminal. It would be the criminal was arrested
What word?
by the police. So we have, for example, a judge reviews the case. What is the? Of course, that a case is reviewed by. I'm sorry, the passive voice.
The case
The case
was.
was reviewed by a judge. You know that by a
No,
judge
is
is
reviewed. Sorry.
review because it's in singular. But now by a judge, it's obvious because who reviews the case? A judge. It's not necessary. Someone removed the videos. Someone. We don't know.
The videos.
The videos.
The videos were
The videos
moved.
were removed. You don't need to write by someone because it's not necessary because you don't know. And the last one, the jury didn't find the defendant guilty.
The defendant, well,
Then you don't see.
The defendant guilty? This is the past simple.
The defendant guilty
Mm-mm.
wasn't.
The defendant wasn't found guilty. Remember that this is in the past. You just need to write the verb be and the past here, and of course the main verb in the participle form. So the defendant wasn't found. Did you understand, or you need more examples of this one?
Uh,
Yes, please.
Okay.
yes, first.
and the first sentence, notice was.
Ah, because this is present simple. The past form is reviewed. If we have reviewed, you say.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Yes, don't worry. Okay, let's do this a little bit. For example, imagine that we have Carlos Carlos doesn't read the book. Look at this. Carlos doesn't read the book. This is in the present simple. The passive would be
The book
the book
is not. No.
is not
Yeah, it's not
not read by
Carlos.
Carlos.
Read by Carlos.
Yes, it doesn't matter here. You have the book is not read by Carlos because Carlos, but we have doesn't. It doesn't matter. Now, next one. Negative. Carlos didn't write a letter. So Carlos didn't write a letter. So you say a letter.
There is not.
Why is not? Because this is the past.
Oh no. Yes, wasn't.
Wasn't or was not
Wasn't
written
written
by Carlos.
by Carlos.
Yes, guys, remember that here we have, it says verb be. Probably we have Juan is not writing a letter is not being written by Juan. Okie dokie?
Okay.
Yes. So let's continue. So identify the agent and the receiver are the verbs. Okay, in the first one, the lawyer instructed the jury. Active or passive? Active or passive
This
voice?
is active.
Active voice. And the last one is the passive. This is the agent and this is the receiver. Okay, the case was read. Sorry, this is the receiver of the action. This is passive, and this is the active voice. Okay, use the passive voice when the agent of an action is unknown or not important. It refers to the previous statement. You know that we never use by when we don't know who performed the action, or because it's obvious. In this case, use the passive voice when the agent of the action is unknown or important. Pictures and fingers are taken. By who? Who? We don't care. It's not important. Jurors are selected. It's not important. Did you understand this part, right? Vamos a usar la voz pasiva cuando no nos importe quién hace la acción. Ok, por ejemplo, this is, well, the house was painted. La casa fue pintada. ¿Quién lo hizo? No me importa. I don't care. Utilizo la voz pasiva. Pero si me importase, lo hizo mi papá. Digo, my dad painted the house. Mi papá pintó la casa. Me importa, digo, my dad. Porque me enfoco en el agente. I focus on the object. No me importa que, well, the house was painted. No quiero mencionar ni siquiera a mi papá. Entonces digo, passive. Ok. Use the passive voice when we want to avoid mentioning the agent. Cuando quieras evitar mencionar quién es el agente, utiliza. Okay? So, Paul committed a crime. Okay? Él cometió un crimen, pero de repente Paul es mi hijo. Y no quiero decir que él cometió un crimen en mi casa. Digo, a crime was committed in my house. Did you understand? En mi caso hubo un accidente. Mi hijo Paul mató a mi tío. Entonces me preguntan, oye, ¿qué pasó en tu casa? Yo no quiero decir que Paul, mi hijo, Paul killed my uncle. No quiero decir que Paul mató a mi tío. Well, my uncle was killed. Mi tío fue asesinado, pero no menciono quién. Porque no quiero que sepan. Okay? So this is a good answer here. Use by phrase when it is important to know who performs the action. Of course, the video was burglarized by a former employee. This is important information. This is information is surprising. Okay, so the lawyer submitted evidence. Which one is what is the passive voice? The lawyer submitted evidence. Do you know?
Yeah, evidence.
Evidence
Was
submitted by the lawyers. Of course. So now, number one, this is going to be for Sarah. Sarah, the witness, answer the questions.
Questions were answered.
Of course. This you can omit by the witness, of course.
By the witness.
Okay, Lubitsa, number two. Thank you.
Objections were raised
by the prosecution, of course. And last but not least, we have Jonathan. Jonathan, last one. Is taken. Notes is taken. Are you sure?
Notes are taken.
Notes are taken. Okay, so we're done with this page here. So now we have just 4 minutes, so I can teach you a little bit about pronunciation, or do you want to practice the passive? What do you think? Let me know. Pronunciation. Okay, cool. This is my presentation here. Icebreaker. Okay. Well, in the English language, sometimes there are some words that they have the same, structure, but their pronunciation is different. Okay, we have the word like present. So let's analyze this super quickly. Let me share my screen. So today we're going to talk about same verbs and noun plus syllable stress. So there are some words in English where the verb and the noun are the same exact word with the same spelling. For example, the broccoli can be found in the produce aisle. These companies produce 100,000 shares per year. Here, although the highlighted words are spelled the same, there is a difference in their pronunciation. Did you hear it? Listen again. The broccoli can be found in the produce aisle. These companies produce 100,000 shares per year. ¿Notaron la diferencia de pronunciación?
Yes.
Rule: when there is a pair of words, when the verb and the noun adjective is spelled the same, you can distinguish the word by shifting the syllables. For example, the broccoli can be found in the produce aisle. Produce. because this is a noun or adjective. But when it is a verb, produce, produce, rule, noun or adjective, the stress is in the first syllable. Remember, noun or adjective, the stress is in the first syllable. And then when we have the verb, the stress is in the second syllable. Notice that when you stress the second syllable in the verb, you must stress the first one. Of course, you say produce. No, it's produce. Let's practice, listen and repeat. Okay, the first one is a noun. So the noun goes the stress at the beginning or at the end? The nouns. Beginning or at the end the stress? You know? The nouns. In the first syllables. Okay, let's practice. So I'm going to read and then you will read, okay? We're in contract negotiations right now, okay? Now you, Jonathan. Nope.
What teacher?
Read the sentence.
Sorry. We're in contract negotiation right now.
Okay, Jonathan, you continue the second one.
He likes to contract.
No, incorrect. The first one is contract. We're in contract negotiations right now. But this is the adjective or noun. But in this case, it's the verb. You don't say contract, you say contract. You?
Contract. Very good. He likes to contract his mouse clothes to show off.
How big they are.
Of how big
Yes.
they
Muscles. You say muscles. Okay. Let's continue with Sarah. You read this one. Thank you, Jonathan.
This supermarket doesn't have the best produce section.
Produce section. You.
Produce. They'll produce the best pop album this year.
Amazing. Luisa, you.
He got his land permit as soon as he turned 16.
You, Lubica. Lubica, continue.
I can't permit you to do that.
Yes, I can permit you to do that. Okay, so there's so much conflict in this world. This conflicts with my priorities in life. This project is set to wrap up early next year. The machine projects the image onto the wall. I got so many presents for my Christmas this year. I'll present my findings to the committee this afternoon. Remember, don't worry about sounding perfect. Just know that it's possible that if you confuse the placement of the stress syllable, the listener may become confused about the word that you're trying to communicate. This is because native English speakers have no idea that they make this change. So they won't be expecting a change in syllable stress when they hear it. ¿Ok? Ellos lo hacen de manera inconsciente. Por lo tanto, no es que vas a, ay, quiero sonar perfecto. No, es que si tú pronuncias mal, cambias todo el contexto, ellos lo hacen inconscientemente. ¿Ok? So, aquí les mando el screenshot para que puedan practicar con estas oraciones. Y con eso hemos terminado la lección. Ok, so that would be all for now. Ahora les envío su grabación. And that would be all. Do you have any questions? ¿Alguna consulta, duda que tengan?